Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from DiaMedica's Therapeutics. You might not have heard of them, but after this video, you'll know whether their shareholders had a reason to celebrate or a reason to start selling their stock. DiaMedica's Therapeutics held their annual meeting in May, and while meetings can be boring, the decisions made that can have a big impact on the company's future. Stick around because we're going to break down what happened and what it all means for DiaMedica. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, where we discuss company filings and more. First off, this report covers the results of DiaMedica's annual meeting that happened on May 15th, 2025. This is where shareholders get to vote on important matters like who sits on the board of directors and what accounting firm the company uses. Think of it as the company's yearly checkup, where everyone gets to voice their opinion. Now, before we get into the details, it's important to know that there were almost 43 million shares that could be voted at this meeting. About 45% of those shares were actually represented, meaning enough people showed up either in person or by proxy to make the meeting official. Okay, let's get to the voting. First up, the election of directors. These are the people who are in charge of making big decisions for the company. The shareholders voted on 7 people to be on the board, including names like Michael Giuffre, Rick Kuntz, and Tanya Lewis. All 7 of the people that the company suggested got elected. But what's interesting is how many shares didn't vote in this election. It's called broker non-votes, and it happened with almost 12.44 million shares. That means a big chunk of shareholders didn't express an opinion on who should be running the company. Next, the shareholders voted on who should be the company's accountant. Accountants are like the financial watchdogs, making sure the company's numbers are accurate. The shareholders overwhelmingly approved Baker Tilly US to be the company's accounting firm for the year. Over 18 million shares voted in favour. That's a pretty clear sign that shareholders trust this firm to do a good job. Finally, the shareholders got to give their opinion on how much the company's top executives are paid. This vote isn't binding, meaning the company doesn't have to listen to the shareholders' opinion, but it's still a good way to see if people think the executives are being paid fairly. In this case, most of the shares that voted, over 6.5 million, approved of the executive pay. However, about 400,000 shares voted against it, and almost 12.44 million shares didn't vote at all. So while the vote passed, there was some disagreement about whether the executives are worth what they're being paid. So what does all of this mean for DiaMedica? Well, on the surface, everything looks pretty good. The company got all of its directors elected, it has a trusted accounting firm, and most shareholders seem okay with the executive pay. But if we dig a little deeper, we see some potential warning signs. The high number of broken non-votes in the director election suggests that some shareholders might not be paying close attention to the company's decisions. And the opposition to the executive pay, while not enough to fail the vote, shows that some people think the executives are overpaid. DiaMedica's Therapeutics has a lot of potentials, but they need to make sure they're listening to all of their shareholders, not just the ones who are actively voting. It shows a lot of shareholders did not vote on the first and last points, suggesting they don't really care about the company, at least not enough to spend some time making sure their vote aligns with their opinion. If I was them, I would make sure I give my shareholders a reason to care. Alright, that's our breakdown of DiaMedica's Therapeutics' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.